Morning. Just getting a little work in before work. Been trying to make a point the last 2 days to get up and get on the bike. I haven't been able to do the last couple months because I think I'm kind of lazy. But lazy in a good way. We need to be lazy sometimes. I need to try to hit my mileage for the entire year, which at least 3,500 miles matched last year's totals. I think I'm less than 700-800 miles from that. I'll take my Strava later. But I kind of want to hit 4,000 or 5,000. I don't think that'll happen between now and the end of the year. Nonetheless, I'm still doing good. I'm going to try a free stream on Wednesday night ride. I couldn't stream when it happened because of connection issues, so I did record it. So I'm going to try to figure out how to be a video editor. Take a look at it and upload it to my YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe in the About section of my link tree. Got the radio going in the background. I listen to the radio in the morning. Here's awesome today. It's 45 degrees here now in Maryland, Western Maryland. If you guys interested, who's on Zwift or who's signing up for Zwift like today, or Bike and Zwift Rider Ride Group Club, has 6 events this weekend, with each chance to get a free kit after the completion of an hour-long ride. Saturday is our white, blue, and orange Bike and Rest kit. It's been in the game for a couple years. And then Sunday is the kit that I'm wearing right now, which is a Bike MS kit. And I'm going to call it an extra special kit because it's an error. When we first started doing this at this events, there was miscommunication between us and the Zwift programmer, and they couldn't find the old kit in game, so they found this kit, which in real life, you have to raise $5,000 at any given Bike MS event in the country, in the United States, in order to obtain the Bike MS passport kit. You also have to register for a second ride that year. For example, I've been fundraising since 2009 for Bike MS. I've raised just over $40,000 since then. I've hit $5,000 in 2020, 2021, and 2022. So it took me that long to get the 5,000 milestone, which I hate begging for money. However, I think there's a lot of people out there that want to hear stories like mine. Veteran, a couple years out of the military, started having medical problems after years of copays and years of appointments. I finally got a diagnosis in 2007 that changed my life. That diagnosis was multiple sclerosis. I also was diagnosed with Crohn's. Actually, first was ulcerative colitis in 2010, and then in 2017 or 16, 2017, that Crohn's, ulcerative colitis was upgraded to Crohn's, and thanks to Tysabri, an MS medication infusion, that's my third drug I've been on since 2007. Let me get the boost. But I've been pretty much in remission with MS and Crohn's. The last colonoscopy 2 years ago, the doctor advised I had no disease presence. There was scarring from previous issues, but that is pretty dormant now. And I've been flare-free for MS since 2016 now. I've had 3 distinct episodes since being diagnosed with MS. 2007, the issue was complete loss of my hand. So I was at work using a mouse, and my hand just quit working. I had to learn how to use the left-handed mouse, and then that was my first dose of Medrol or IV steroids. Then I returned from a cruise in 2010, and I still took care of myself, but not as well. I hadn't really been full balls out into cycling yet. I was watching a Washington football team and played Monday Night Football. They were playing the Cowboys. I believe they won that game because I was in the hospital 2 hours later because of my face drooping. And the hospital called it a stroke. But I recovered fast. I had no lasting effects from that episode. And me and my neurologist started talking. We got some additional testing. We believe it was MS flare because of my recovery time. I bounced back quick. And I bought a road bike, in January of the following year, and started training right away. In the 3rd year I did bike MS, and I was able to cycle 100 miles in one day. I think me and Jill started together at 7 a.m. at the college where the event was in Maryland, and we crossed the finish line just over 4 p.m., which they will pull riders from the road depending on where you are in the course. And I'm pretty sure they knew I was out there, and they had only known part of my story. I was diagnosed in 2007. It was my 3rd bike MS ride, my first time with the road bike, and they allowed me to finish. And finishing was me, Jill, Keely. I believe Jason was with us. Jason's a huge MS supporter. Keely's a huge MS supporter. And so is my wife, of course. And I finished my first 100 miles. And ever since that point, I've made a point to ride at least 100 miles in any given year, in every year consecutively since 2011. 9 months after my week and a half hospital stay, after they proposed my second flight, really. And then 2016, I just started school, I just started my Mount St. Mary's University here in Maryland, working my bachelor's degree, and I completed that degree in 2020. For my first class, which started in November, it's a 5-week class. It was like kind of an introduction to that college, and had to write 2 papers, or 1 paper. I was in the hospital with steroids, couldn't sleep. I asked my wife to bring my laptop to the hospital and my school books. I wrote a first draft of a paper that first night, or second night in hospital, and turned it in, and I believe I made an impact. The professor, or I should say Dr. Wolf, was a huge supporter of me my entire 4 years finishing my bachelor's degree. I haven't talked to him in a while. I would love to reconnect with him just to show where we both are. He was a late learner in life like myself. I believe he's became a doctor more than once. I know he's a fantastic professor, doctor. Thank you for hearing that story. But I've been doing back MS now since 2009, trying to think of different ways to improve my health, improve fundraising, and spread awareness. I participate in the Government Relations Advisory Council for the National MS Society in Maryland. I advocate with Congressmen for anything impacting MS patients. Lower co-pays for our drugs. Even though my MS is paid for by the VA, I dealt with private insurance and MS for about 8 years, 6 or 7 years, and it was probably the most stressful time ever in my life. I could barely afford treatments, and it was always, and MS patients always deal with this. They deal with free copay programs, which there's no generic for MS drugs. None. I think because the way the patents expire, and just the science behind them. Even though you can probably make them rather cheaper. They pay for additional dinners, education programs for patients and others. But it's a heck of a thing to have to choose between disability or bankruptcy. And that's why I still ride to this day for people with MS and autoimmune diseases in general, and advocate for those patients, because we're people. I know some like to think deal with the card you were dealt in life, but I shouldn't go bankrupt to live. That is basic human. I mean, I know we're all about survival of the fittest, and I probably would have been eaten up by a lion 200,000 years ago. But human race is evolving, and I may not have more than 50 years left on this planet, hopefully. But hopefully the next generation is better. MS is autoimmune, and so that means my body is attacking the good cells and the bad cells. Whatever attacking the good cells So trying to improve his quality of life. But with the disease of non-toxic drugs, it kind of puts your MS in check, or your autoimmune system in check. Since that, sadly, I've had great skin, except for my scarring from acne. But it's definitely helping a lot of other things too. My Crohn's in check, and I'm flare free. Alright, I have about, can't see your clock, I have 8 minutes left till 7. I have 3.24 kilometers left. My morning sweat. So I'm gonna wrap up and get ready for work. Thank you all for viewing. Until next time, stay positive, love your life. Take it easy. I'll finish up the ride. And also, check out my story in my About section. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I think that's all. Thanks again. Have a good day.